It's December 3rd, and the first 2 days of the month didn't go our way. The bookies got a head start, celebrating like they've already won. But what they don't realize is that every loss sharpens the edge. Every stumble fuels the comeback. This isn't the end of the story, it's just the setup for a stronger finish. December might have started slow, but the month is long, and the best is yet to come. Let's flip the script starting today. My name is Mo. This channel is Tears of a Bookie. Our goal here, our job here is to try our best to give out winning bets backed with detailed and meticulous analysis with one goal, taking down the bookies and beating the books, giving the money back to the people who deserve it and taking it from the corrupt, evil, malicious bookie millionaires. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's been a frustrating start to the month. Just the first 2 days, haven't really had many bets, but especially yesterday, it's just been frustrating. But that won't stop us. We're always transparent here. Even if we lose 1,000 days in a row, we will show it. We will show the record because we want to make ourselves better and try harder and do everything we can in our power to beat the bookies and profit and have fun, but also beat them. Anyway, let's start with the bets recap like we always do of yesterday. I gave this out in the community. Didn't have a video for this one. 0-2 day, both of them were half units. Just freaking frustrating. The game bets Pelicans. It was a 2-leg 3-point teaser. So the original spread plus 3 points. The Pelicans covered the spread exactly, but the Nets they were losing by 6 points going into the second half, and then they just got blown out. I really hated when a team doesn't try hard in an NBA game. Like, it was really obvious that they just were not trying hard, they weren't playing well, and the Bulls just blew them out. It's really obvious to me, it's evident to me that if a team like the Nets tries hard and actually wants to win, they can beat a team like the Bulls. They can at least make it close, but they didn't. It's just so frustrating because these players are paid millions of dollars and they can't give it their all every night. I'm sure there are millions of people out there that for a tenth of what these NBA players are making, they're ready to give it their absolute all every single day. Yet some of these players aren't, and it's just frustrating. But it is what it is. What's also frustrating is DeJounte Murray. I don't think I'm taking a player when they're facing their old team again, at least for some time, because that was just horrendous. I mean, they locked him up, and he was also ice cold. He also wasn't really looking to score. He wasn't like attacking the rim. Like, he wasn't just playing well. He wasn't aggressive. It just was really ugly. He finished with 7 points in the first half and went and scored nothing in the second half. Like, whew, man, it's been frustrating, man. Despite, like I said, other point guards usually playing really well against the Hawks. But it's just 2 days, and we got a long way to go, and we've got to change things. We've got to get back in the green in December. Forget about the total record. Total record is, of course, still positive, but we need to get in the positive for this month. Every month here has to be a positive month. We have to try our absolute best to make it out that way. So we got to bounce back, and that starts today. Before getting into the picks and bets, though, do me a favor. If you do enjoy the analysis and the information is useful for you, you like it, it helps you, please consider subscribing to the channel, supporting the channel by subscribing, sharing, all that, and together let's take down these bookies. But with that said, let's get to today's picks. I really don't want to force anything on these NBA Cup games because things can be weird, especially player props can sometimes be weird. So I just liked one pick, and I'm just going with this one pick for now. I might give out more in the comments of this video. I don't know, but this is what I'm rolling with right now, and it's a parlay, and it's basically a game pick parlay, and we are rolling with a team that led us to a victory on the battlefield in the previous NBA Cup day on Friday, and we are backing them up again. Hopefully, they'll lead us to another winning day. They're the main leg of this parlay, but it's basically the Detroit Pistons to cover a 5.5 spread against the Bucks, and the OKC money line. OKC is facing the Jazz. That's kind of a juice reducer here to change the odds from around, I think, minus 150, minus 155 to about minus 125, somewhere around that. But Let me just start talking about why I like the Pistons here. Obviously, if you remember on Friday, they destroyed the Pacers in Indiana. Now they have home court advantage. They're taking the Bucks. Both the Bucks and the Pistons are 3-0 in this NBA Cup, and whoever wins this goes into the next round. Whoever loses is most likely eliminated, unless the Magic beat the Knicks, because they're also playing. They're also facing each other around the same time, half an hour after this game starts. That's the only way that they might make it to the next round if they lose. But their best bet is just to win this game. And again, Milwaukee has not been a really good team this season. They've been really struggling, even though don't let their recent winning streak or just like good performance fool you. They've been facing mainly teams that are not that good, and they have not really been blowing out teams or winning teams by that much. Like, it has not really been impressive. Even when Giannis or Lillard have a really good game, that doesn't really matter. For instance, their very last game, Giannis came back from injury and he had a 40-point triple double. Yet they were facing the Wizards, the worst team in the league, and they just won them by 10 points. Which is, it's shocking that the Wizards are such a bad team that if you don't win them by 15 or more, basically, that's not a good win at all. You have to win them by 15 or more for it to be considered a good win. But the Wizards hung around and just made it a competitive game all the way to the end. So this Bucks team, and you can see their other games this season, it's all been like that. Close games with Charlotte. They even faced Detroit once and Milwaukee, and they won them by 7. So even that wasn't that, decisive, that much of a decisive victory. But things are different here. It's in Detroit, and I really think, like, just looking at these two teams, especially the way Detroit played against Pacers, like they gave it their all. I feel like the Pistons really want this win more than the Bucks do. I feel like they just really, really want this more, especially given how frustrating it's been in the previous years for the Pistons. Last year, the worst team in the league. Even this season, they might not make it in the end season tournament. I'm sorry, in the end season tournament to make the um, to make the playoffs. They might not even make that because they're at a losing record right now. So even that is not guaranteed. But they have a great chance here to sort of progress in this NBA Cup, which is the closest thing to a playoff experience they might get. And they were, just looking at the players' interviews and just how they played against the Pacers on Friday. They were just so riled up to win and just super ready for this game. They even rested Cade, I think. He was out due to injury against their last game. I don't know who they faced, but I think it was Philly. But I think they purposely sort of rested him. They wanted to make sure he's 100% for this game. Right now, his status is active. All the Pistons players are active. None of them are questionable, which is good because the roster is healthy. The Bucks, Giannis, and I think Prince are probable. They'll probably play, but the Pistons a completely healthy roster. Of course, for the Bucks, Middleton is still out. And I just feel like the Pistons will really play good and just give it their absolute all. And again, I just love the playing the spread here because it's like a safety net, right? The only reason I'm not taking their money line is because at the end of the day, this is the Milwaukee Bucks. On roster, on paper, they are the better team, and that's because of two of their players, right? Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. If these two show up and are just absolutely in God mode, there's nothing the Pistons can do. No matter how bad they want to win, no matter how you know good this coaching strategy is, there's just nothing they can do if Giannis and Lillard, destroy them tonight. So just because of that on paper, the Bucks are also 3-0, and they'll probably also want to make it to the next round of the NBA Cup, right? Why not? Last season, their NBA Cup journey was cut short. Maybe this year they'll be more motivated to make it, but they just have not been good this season. The Bucks' record on the road is 2-6, so you can tell how bad of a team they have been. And I feel like this Pistons team and their organization deserves this, and they want it a lot more. The Pistons, it's just really sad to see. I was looking this up. The last time they made the playoffs was in the 2018-19 season. And in that season, they got swept by the Bucks. Before that, the previous season they made it to the playoffs was the 2015-16 season. And again, in the first round, they got swept by the Cavaliers. What about before that? Well, in 2008 and 9, they again made the playoffs and they got swept again by the Cavs. So the three last time this franchise had made the playoffs, they've gotten swept. Before that, it was in 2007 and 8, in that season where they made it to the conference finals. But it has just been a rough decade, more than a decade, more than 15 years even for this team. And I think again, this isn't the playoffs; it's just a play-in tournament. This is only the second year the NBA's been implementing this, but it's competitive, and I think they really want to go to Vegas, and they really will show up and give it their absolute all fight, give it everything tonight, which is why I like this alternate spread. Now, why am I playing it for not the original 3.5 spread? Well, there's just something about this 5.5 that to me makes it the magic number. You see, if the Magic somehow were to beat the Knicks tonight, the Pistons can make it to the next round in the NBA Cup if they lose to the Bucks by no more than 5 points. So that's where this magic 5.5 number comes, and where why it's just something, it's just like a telltale sign to me that go for the 5.5, not the original. It's just 2 points more, but because the games are pretty much at the same time, and they'll probably know the results, what's going on in New York, and if the Magic end up blowing out the Knicks, I'm sure they'll be aware of that, and they'll be like, guys, okay, we don't have to necessarily beat the Bucks. We'll give it our all. We'll try to win this game. We'll try to get the dub. But if for some reason we can't win them, we just got to keep it extremely close and within 5, and we'll be good to go. So I don't know. There's just something about the 5.5 that is a lot more tempting, and I like it a lot more. But yeah, I just don't know what else to say. Let's go Detroit. You did it on Friday. Let's get the dub again. Let's go to Vegas and Detroit basketball. Let's prevail. But what about the second leg? Just really briefly, it's OKC. OKC against Jazz. So pretty much it's the best team, maybe the best team or the second best team. I don't know if the Rockets have a better record, but I'd say the best team in the Western Conference versus the worst team in the Western Conference, and it's an OKC. And sometimes I don't really like going for weird money lines like this because weird things happen in the NBA. If you remember, the Celtics lost to Atlanta without Trae Young and Boston, right, as part of as their in their first NBA Cup game. But OKC is different than Boston. OKC does not let weak teams really catch up to them and beat them. And they've just been really, really good this season, especially at home. And this is also an NBA Cup game for OKC. They need to beat the Jazz, and the Suns need to beat the Spurs in order for OKC to make it to the next round. And I think that the Spurs, it's going to be a really tough game for the Spurs because that game is in Phoenix for them, right? They're already heavily favored to lose. The spread is around 7.5. So I think that OKC is like, hey man, we just gotta beat the Jazz tonight. We can get it done, and we gotta not let them catch up. The spread for this game is 14.5. So we just gotta beat this team, and we'll most likely make it to the next round. I just like this, just juice reducer here. Hopefully, it won't be like the Celtics. Just this OKC team is different. They won't let us down. They won't let us down. But I am playing a full unit on this. We need to slowly get out of the negative and into the positives again for December and make sure that this is another profitable month. And it starts with today's NBA Cup game and this parlay. Let's get it done. Let's get the W. Thanks for watching. That's it for right now. If you liked, comment, subscribe, like, all that, share, blah, blah, blah. And let's get the win tonight. Yeah, see you in the battlefield. Let's prepare for war. Let's prepare for battle. The bookies will not beat us for the third time in a row. We will be victorious. And that is not an option. See you next time, guys. Good luck.